Welcome to Growing Older with Gusto. I'm Gail Zuckerman, the host of this podcast, which is dedicated to the art of helping people to grow older in a positive and productive way. Today, we have two guests on the show, David Cravit and Larry Wolf. Both men are well recognized as leaders in what is called the SuperAging movement. David is an established author in this genre and a co-founder of SuperAgingNews.com, which tracks the superaging revolution. He is often seen on TV as a voice for the superaging movement. We also have Larry Wolf, who's the other co-founder of SuperAgingNews.com, a digital information service delivering the latest developments on how to thrive into our 80s and 90s. He is CEO of the Wolf Group and advises Fortune 500 companies on communication strategies. He saw an opportunity in the area of superaging and teamed up with David. They have so much to tell us about this movement, so let's dive in. So I know from reading that centenarians are the fastest growing age group in the U.S. What got you both interested in this movement?
Well, I think the fact, Gail, that we're both getting older, I'm in my 80s now, and people are living a lot longer, and we became interested, in what can we do to maximize their quality of life, really very similar to what you're doing. And we thought there was a real opportunity to positively brand aging and amplify that branding with a lot of useful information from your finances to the latest medical research to your health to lifestyle. I mean, as you say, getting older with gusto. So we thought there was a real opportunity. There was a lot of very good stuff out there in diet, exercise, but there was no really one publication, one book that put it all together, and took the whole idea of how do you live longer, healthier, and have a more fulfilling life.
David, do you have anything to add?
I have one. I have one other thought that because I started writing about this in 2008. I wrote a book called The New Old, which was about how baby boomers, which I'm a baby boomer, were reinventing the idea of aging by not wanting to be old, thought of as old. And that at that time, that didn't presuppose longevity. So in other words, the boomers were saying, even if I don't live one day longer than my father or grandparents, I'm not going to age the way they did. I'm not going to be a geezer ever. In fact, I'm not going to get off the stage if I don't have to, because the boomers as the first me generation, and I can be a little critical of boomers being one, type A generation, spotlight was always on us. Why should the music stop now? And then what happened was, so it was an attitudinal book, and both Larry and I come out of the advertising business. We were colleagues. We were in the ad business, so we understand consumers and marketing and how to analyze all that. And I know you were in qualitative market research, so it was a attitudinal book, which said the boomers are not going to age the way the previous generations did as a matter of generational attitude. But then what happens is, I don't want to get older. I don't want to be a geezer. And then along comes, fast forward 15 years. Hey, wait a minute. I actually could live longer. Now, as all this longevity stuff is happening with these medical discoveries and these new treatments and so it's like a perfect intersection of attitude suddenly becomes actually quite achievable. It isn't just a quaint little sociological observation about the boomers who are going to die at the same age as their predecessors. Now you can live longer. So perfect. I physically don't need it. And you yourself have used that phrase about, we're an hour from now, we're going to be an hour older. So the older part, but the old part, and that's why the subtitle of our book, Getting Older, sure, without getting old, which is
Right.
the
I love
qualitative
that. I
side.
love that. Yes.
And that's,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. And that's what the whole premise of superaging is.
That's great. Okay. So I know in your book and your workbook that you've created, you've identified the 7 pillars or what you call the 7 A's of super aging. Now, let's start talking about that because there's so many pillars that perhaps people really don't think about too much. And I think they're really all important. But have you written about them in order of their importance or just threw them out and they're all important? Or
the first two, let me take the first two, Larry, and then
Okay.
I'll hand
Right.
over to Larry. So the
Super.
first two are sort of foundational. Without the first two, the other five don't have the same power, let's say. They can happen, but the and so they are kind of like the umbrella, and they are attitude and awareness. Attitude meaning to have a positive attitude, really means not a Pollyanna attitude, but means a belief, an optimism about the future. I have a future. I could be 65, and on paper, I'm supposed to be now officially old, and I think I got 30 years to go. I think I got 4 years. So the idea that if you have a positive attitude, and then they've now proven clinically, biologically, that having a positive attitude isn't sort of a generic good thing, it's actually a biologically good thing. They know what happens at the cellular level now. People who are positive live longer because they have less stress. Less stress equals less inflammation, and inflammation is the number one cause of age-related disease. So there's a reason we almost insist that that's the foundation. The second one being awareness, and as Larry said, there's a torrent of information, torrent. We don't intend to compete with that information. As I said, we're marketers, we're not doctors, we're not clinicians, we're not physical trainers, we're not financial planners. We see ourselves as the curators of that information, snagging it, organizing it, coordinating it in our books and on our website to make it easier for the reader to absorb in an orderly way. And every single piece of information we bring is sourced to some third party authority. It isn't David and Larry dreaming up stuff. It's us going and looking at the medical reports, the research reports, all the books. All that information is our friend, but we want to kind of streamline it and organize it. So from those two things, I do believe in a future I'm optimistic about. I can make these decades something valuable, and I need the information to help me do it. But from those two foundations come the other five, which Larry can run through for us.
So let me ask,
Amazing.
Yeah.
before we get started, Larry. So would this positive attitude on a cellular level help with my golf game?
Yes, because if longevity is the goal, remember, what we're after here is living better and living healthier. If you want to be ripped, you got to go to the gym. If you want to play golf, if you want to be a scratch golfer, attitude alone may not do it. But if you believe you've got a lot of years ahead of you, you may be a lot more patient about your golf game. You might feel better about the little achievements along the way than if you think, I've only got a couple more years before I'm done, and how come I'm still not breaking 100? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's how you look at it.
Okay, so Larry, do you wanna tell us a little bit about activity? That activity.
Very well, activity, a lot of elements to activity. First and very obvious is diet makes a huge difference. You need to have a good diet. We talk about that in some depth, but basically the overall strategy is very simple. Just simply portion control, avoiding sugar, processed foods, a diet that's fundamentally vegetarian, and above all, food that you enjoy. So, really taking charge of your diet, and we give you all sorts of specific tips. And my wife loves reading the newsletter every week to get all the incredible healthy recipes, not only because 'cause they're good for you, but they taste really good, and it's,
Great
a great
stuff.
culinary adventure. So, okay, and then, activity, again, a very obvious thing. You, either, use it or you lose it, and the older the vehicle gets, whether it's an automobile, sorry, or my body, the more maintenance it needs. So, flexibility, just stretching, keeping, everything working, aerobics, maintaining your aerobic capacity, balance, breathing, and strength training. All of these things are very critical, and a lot of them, can be achieved with just simple exercise snacks, just 5 minutes a day and throughout the day, and you don't need a gym or fancy equipment. Most of the, essential way to keep yourself fit you can do at home. Also, as important as physical exercise, mental exercise, you've got to keep exercising your brain. Just, so absolutely critical. And you have to keep challenging yourself with new things. For instance, I've taken up Tai Chi swordsmanship, and it's laughable to watch me do it. I'm not very good at it, but I find it very challenging, and for me, it's a totally new and really a totally new discipline. And also, just overall, you need to take control of your own life. You're in charge of your well-being. You have to make sure you have the right medical team, the right support team in all areas. So, brief summary of activity. Also important and related to activity is accomplishment. You really need purpose. You need goals. You really, when you wake up in the morning, you need things to do that are, really meaningful. And whether it's, pursuing a new career, maintaining your old career, part-time gig, going back to school, volunteer work, very important. You need to do things that give you a sense of accomplishment and that gives you purpose. So, activity accomplishment, very critical. Next, equally critical, attachment. Relationships. You need you know, um, meaningful relationships, a whole network of people. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have been married to the same incredible lady for 59 years. We have a couple of great kids. We have great grandkids, great daughter-in-laws. I mean, we're lucky in a family sense, but beyond family, you need an essential, you need social network. The connection with people is absolutely essential. And there's all sorts of science behind this. I mean, attachment is just such a critical variable in well-being, and loneliness, isolation. I mean, is a very critical medical problem for a lot of seniors.
Hey, Larry, do you have any tips for our listeners on how do you make friends when you're older? Or is there any special sauce or tips you have?
Yeah, no, a lot of ways. So sort of group activities. Whether it's a book club, joining a sports team, just all kinds of social activities. Plus, there's the internet, which is really a great vehicle for making new friends. And unlike marketers' general belief, older people are very, very computer savvy. They're
Right. I learned that. Yeah.
digital. Yeah,
Can I just
you're
cut in
yes.
one thing here real quick? I'm sorry. We
Go
do
ahead.
write about this is a great question, Gail. We do write about this very often on our website, superagingnews.com. Rekindling old friendships, making new friendships.
Mhm.
How do you manage all these relationships? And I watched with interest your interview with Philip Stanton, who talked about, people that age. He's 80. Some people die, other people haven't died. He also, I think, was lucky in that he had a family and grandkids. Larry's completely right about the internet, but it ties back to the A for awareness, because there's so many new things going on that you should know about. So, for example, the internet is one. Virtual companions is starting to become no,
And
it's starting to become a thing. It's
And
starting to become a
often
thing.
in all the novels that are coming out right now, they're always
Yeah.
talking about people having relationships with these bots or whatever.
But the
Yes.
medical community and the aging in place industry, which is a whole other topic, is developing avatars and virtual companions for people who are either remotely located or who don't have physical relationships that they can have with family or friends. And so just by keeping up to date with some of this and testing some of it, trying some of it out, because as Larry says, it's very accessible but you got to know about it. So we do report on it. It's a great question. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but
No,
I just
no,
wanted to add that little factoid to the mix.
Okay, well, from there, I'll go on to autonomy. For one obvious thing, if you're going to live longer, you need the money to do it. So, financial independence is very important as you grow older. And most critical is physical independence. You want to be in charge of your own life. You want to maintain your mobility. You want to stay in your own familiar environment, your own happy home. And there's just incredible stuff happening with age technology. And we cover a lot of this in our newsletter, but just so many technical opportunities to make your home more usable, more user friendly. And lastly, is avoidance. And one of my major irritations is ageism. You see ageism, in the marketplace. You see it in politics. You see it medically, which can be dangerous. This old guy's in his 80s. Why does he need this new technology? We'll deal with our younger patients first. So, ageism, is something that you need to avoid. And when you encounter it, you need to fight back aggressively. And older people, although they're digitally savvy, seem to be a prime target for scams. And as technology gets more sophisticated, the scammers get a hell of a lot more sophisticated. For instance, there's scams where they can really replicate the voice, of a child, a grandchild. Grandpa, I'm stuck here. I need money. So you really got to be very careful in avoiding scams and only deal with known, credible, very trusted sources. Don't do anything new in the internet that involves money that you don't check out very thoroughly. And this is, in a nutshell, a summary of the 7 A's. But David or I can expound in any of these in great detail, and that's the fun and excitement of our newsletter. It just deals with so many new, interesting topics every week. David's the primary editor, and every time I see a new article from David, I learn something. I mean, it's just amazing the new
And remember, these articles are sourced from other. And I'll go back to my plug for awareness again. Larry just said it, frauds and scams. There's actually no way of protecting yourself against frauds and scams that does not include being up to date on what they are. Because every year new stuff is coming out, new things are being developed.
Right.
And the FBI is and the RCMP in Canada, are very good in publishing statistics and updates and warnings about what the latest techniques are. And as Larry pointed out, much of it is AI. And so you got to be aware of it though. So you have to stay in the game. You have to stay in the loop and be informed of these new things.
Both my husband and I both have, in the past year, gotten emails from the state of Illinois saying that we didn't pay our tolls. Well, we don't even have a car in Illinois, so
Yeah, exactly. No,
yeah,
exactly. But they can send out 1 million of those, and
right,
they only need 1% of them to
right.
to hit. The real danger with AI, by the way, is as Larry pointed out, they can clone your relatives, but they can also clone you. And there are scams now where they are cloning the person, the victim, and then having that clone contact other people and get money that they think they're sending to you, or even deal with your bank and ask for money to be withdrawn and so on. So you have to be very alert. And there's no answer for this except to stay up to date, I'm afraid, because every year the bad guys come out with, and we're coming into Thanksgiving and Christmas, gift giving, charitable donation giving. Medicare renewal time. If you knew how many scams there are of consultants claiming they're going to help you renew your Medicare in a better package than you had before. Are they really from Medicare? Who are they? Do you know who they are? We're writing about this routinely because we see it as just a information tool that you got to have, unfortunately.
Getting back to staying mentally fit, I'm really
Right.
interested in that also. Do you believe in these games? Like the New York Times says every day they have
Yeah.
Wordle and they
Sure.
Inception.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Absolutely.
addicted.
Yeah.
There's two angles to that. Number one, there are people who do it because they've been lifelong crossword puzzle or puzzle. Let's just use puzzle. And it's just fun. There's no reason to stop doing it. But the brain wants new challenges. It's a bit of a finesse. They've got to be hard, but not too hard. They can't be so hard that you have no hope of doing them. But it doesn't need to be profound. I go back to your recent guest because I did a little homework today who took up, I think it was bird watching at 80.
Yeah.
Suddenly he's a birder. Never paid any attention to it before. He realizes that there's all these colorful. Well, that's just. I mean, he's enjoying it. That the main reason is he should enjoy it. He shouldn't be gritting his teeth and doing it if he hates it. But it is helping his brain, taking up a musical instrument, learning a foreign language. We did an article. I just want to show you the profound effect of something new. Of research. This has been studied where they took a control group and a test group of people in their 70s. They gave them a cognition test beforehand. And the test group, they taught them Spanish. None of them knew a word of Spanish. And I forget, it was a month, 2 months of Spanish lessons. I think it was online every day. And the control group, they left them alone. And then they take a cognition test again. And the control group, the test group that had learned Spanish gained, I forget how many percentage points, but a dramatic improvement in their cognitive skills. None of them on either group had dementia, but the cognitive skills went up. And they weren't particularly great in Spanish. It didn't mean that they had mastered Spanish. They were beginners.
They were just using those muscles.
The brain wants
Good.
new stuff. The brain craves novelty.
I read that said you should try to learn something new every day. Spend 5 minutes, find something new to focus on.
Right. It could be something brand new.
I
It could
can't
be
imagine how.
no. It could be brand new, or it could be a new level of the same topic. Like I'm moving on to lesson 2 of Spanish. I learned 10 more words today. But you're completely right. And this permeates the whole super aging lifestyle because now what we're seeing is this spills over into other things. So, for example, unfamiliar destinations for travel.
Yeah.
I want to go. I don't want the same old destination. New formats for travel. Skip gen travel is a big thing now. Grandparents, grandkids, the parents stay home. Well, it's a different dynamic. It's a different experience. Walking through those streets of wherever it is with your grandkids and the parents aren't there. So anything new, and that's why unfamiliar destinations are good because maybe it's a new language. Maybe you just got to concentrate a little bit heavier. You take out the street map and you navigate your way to the church or the site or whatever the thing is. It's all working almost automatically, subconsciously, helping the brain develop new pathways.
Now, one thing I want to add, even in a very simple level, just doing crossword puzzles or Wordle or spelling bee or whatever, really expands and keeps your brain active. It's fun, it's relaxing. In fact, we have on our website something called SuperAging Brain Games. If we're interested in getting tons of good puzzles every month, I love to do this stuff, particularly when I'm working and I'm tired. I just escape and relax for 10 minutes.
Sure.
Being challenged by a puzzle, which is nothing to do with anything. And this is true my wife as well. We sometimes do them together, and so it's a fun. It could be a fun social experience. But puzzles, I like them because they're fun, and the side thing is they have real brain expanding benefits, I think.
I'm gonna check that out because I like to do stuff. I do that every morning with the Times.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm a cryptic nut, so I like cryptic
So,
puzzles.
what other hobbies do you two do aside from you're probably very busy with the book and the workbook and the website and everything else.
Well, okay, I'll begin. I do Tai Chi, which I find both very mentally stimulating and relaxing. I'm an atrocious golfer. I used to be an avid tennis player, but I have some eye issues that have taken me off the tennis court. I used to be an avid skier, so now I'm an avid golfer instead. I love to do puzzles. I love to listen to really good podcasts, audio books. I really don't know how to cook, but I love to eat, and I'm married to an incredible cook. So we like to go out and have new culinary experiences. Do interesting things with friends, and just generally there are so many exciting things going on in the world now. I mean, it's an incredible time to be alive, and in so many ways, from so many perspectives, it's a very, very interesting world. So it's sort of my avocational life.
Yeah, mine is reading. I'm a insane reader. I like to keep, and I'm one of these guys. I read on my phone. I read on my tablet. I read physical books.
Mhm.
I usually have at least 3 physical books going at once. I can't pick up a book and read it and make that the only book I'm reading, so I jump around a lot. I love music. I was until recently, and it's associated with our move from Canada to South Carolina. We didn't bring everything with us, and we still have stuff to go. But I was a 5-string banjo player. I like bluegrass, and I play 5-string banjo. So not very well, but I
Fun.
enjoy it. So a little bit of fun. I never really took up a sport like golf or tennis, but I'm a swimmer and I'm a walker. So I those are my activities.
So, what would be the best way for our listeners to find your book, if a workbook, or contact you?
SuperAging News, all one word, SuperAging News, superagingnews.com. That's the website. And there will be our bios, our books, where to get the books, how to sign up for our free newsletter. It's all there in one place.
Great. I'm out of questions. If there's anything else you want to talk about, we have a few minutes left.
I want to make an observation about what you're doing because
Sorry, let me get rid
you
of
are
my.
you are basically proving superaging by introducing all these different people that are doing all these interesting things over the age of 70, or I think you might have said 75 as your qualifier, but that's exactly it. And I do want to say one other thing, that it's about longevity, but it's also about just enjoying and having value in what you're doing right now. So if you were 65 and you were saying, which is true, the next 30 years can be wonderful. They're not wonderful only because you made it to 95 and you proved it. It was because wonderful stuff happened that you should enjoy and be proud of. And at a time where the old model of aging was you're going to be in decline, you're going to be surviving, maybe if you're lucky, we're saying not forget about survive, how about thrive? And that has a value of its own. It's not, of course, we're all about longevity and super aging, but it's making those years wonderful as you are living them. It's not just the wonderfulness kicks in if you make it that long. It's they're wonderful as you go along.
Right.
So, and then the simple tips to make it so is in our model of super aging. But I think people should be proud of and enjoy what they're doing right now.
Well, I think you have a great model going, and I think everybody should check out this book and this workbook. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on iHeart or Apple. And please remember to always stay curious and to stay connected. Thank you
Wonderful
both
advice.
for your time. It was great. It
Well,
was
thank
a
you for inviting me.
episode.
Thank you so much, Gail. We really
Yes,
enjoyed it.
thank
Thank
you.
you.